Hello, how are you? It's been a few months, and I sort of have an excuse, and I also kind of don't. So, the best idea I had is to just record a video where I give out an update on how everything went since my last video. And then, you could get the explanation, you hear the explanation right from me, and we'll be back on track, and then we'll see where the future takes us after this one. First off, I've been away for so long that a lot has changed in my life. And, maybe for you too, but... On the funny side, we've got the weekly slap, one of my main inspirations when I started this channel, actually having uploaded again. And one of the videos even featuring Mr. Beast, which that ended up also not really aging well. Then there was another YouTuber who did a lot of TF2 videos, who also just recently quit, and he sort of went into detail with that in his own commentary channel that I guess he indirectly as a result also quit. He also acted as like one of my main, sources of like inspiration for creating something like this because, I don't know, I just think it's cool to get into insight into people's lives. Now in my case, it's kind of funny because, I'm not them. I don't have a bigger channel, I don't have that, but it's fun to ramble, okay? I like rambling, talking is fun. But to get into the real meaty-gritty, is that what they say? Basically, to get into the things that happened, because last time I ended my video, I was just about to go to Japan, This video will sort of act as a recap of what has happened since then and how my trip went, and also what I'm doing now, what has happened. So, first things first, I went to Japan, all by myself. I don't know why I'm laughing, it's not that funny, but it was a big step for me because, before that, every single time I went anywhere, like the Netherlands or the UK, or maybe even Croatia, I even went to Croatia a few times. It was always at least with someone, I mean, specifically more that with my mother, because my brother usually didn't really go anywhere else on his own. So we'd be traveling together as a family, or we'd be going together. Like, the thing is, I was always traveling with someone at least, and if it wasn't, let's say the family I live with, maybe some other family that I know, or like a school trip for when you go with your class to somewhere else, maybe sometimes even a different country, That was like my main, experience, my most I ever traveled, or most independent I ever traveled. So, it was kind of a crazy experience. Like, I say goodbyes to my mom who has helped me, a lot with this trip. We say our goodbyes in the airport, and then I'm just like, suddenly all by myself. And that's kind of crazy to think about. Like, I'm gonna be, at least in the physical sense, because, you can still message people these days. Thankfully, we have technology. But I'm gonna be completely on my own for the next... Oh boy, actually it was 6 weeks. I thought it was 4 weeks. My god, the time. But yeah, I was going to be completely by myself, and, there was gonna be no hand-holding, no nothing. If anything ever happened, or I lost something, well, there's gonna be no assistance in that regard, So it was a very weird experience. Like, I had to do everything by myself, which felt kind of exciting but also scary. Now overall, for my first time traveling independent, I think it was pretty good, or could have gone much worse. My plane was delayed by an hour or two, so I had a couple of issues, but I survived. I'm here right now, aren't I? And it was definitely a really, really fun time. Like, it was really, really cool. First of all, going to an actual, like, language school to learn the language, because that was, like, one of my main reasons of wanting to go there, besides wanting to go there. It was, like, the perfect opportunity to go there and, like, improve your skills, you know what I mean? When you do these types of things. Like, if you learn a language and you go to the actual country you're trying to learn the language of, dude, it does wonders. It does actual wonders. I've learned a lot during that time, in those 4 weeks of mine even. I even had the pleasure of, like, meeting one of my friends there who was traveling at the same time as me. I don't know if the times had just lined up, like, with us going at the same time, or they just saw they had an open slot, so they wanted to, do it so they could also meet me there. But, it was definitely really cool. It was really fun to meet them. Really, the whole experience was great. I spent around, like, 4 weeks just studying, and attending the school. And then afterwards, I had, like, around a week and a half for myself to just, explore and have fun and go wild. It was so fun. Genuinely one of my most favorite experiences in my life.
And the reason why is because it boiled down to three main things.
One, which were the people, which is, pretty much a classic saying whenever they talk about, like, their experience in Japan. But that's true, Like, yes, I've been studying. Yes, I have practiced quite a bit. But, I am not. I'm not an expert. Not at all. Okay? If anyone would ever tell me to start speaking or fucking go out there and tell a story in Japanese, I would break on the spot. I cannot. I can say a lot of simple sentences and I can very much understand a lot of things. At least I think so. But, I still have, like, a lot of flaws that I hope to improve in the future, But even then, people were so nice and so patient with me, Now, one time, as a, stupid foreigner as I would be, before I had a card, those popular Pasmo or Suica cards that everyone kind of, like, knows, I was traveling mostly with tickets, right? And one time, when I was on my way back home, and I was at my station, I realized, oh, fuck, where's my fucking tickets? And like I said, like, when you're alone like that, no one's like no one's saying like, oh, you got your ticket or whatever, like, just to make sure, it's like your responsibility. So when that happens and I realize I'm gonna appear there as like the stupid foreigner who just like forgot something probably very easy to keep track of, I'm like, fuck, dude, no, I'm boned, bro. But no, like, I was talking with someone at the intercom. Do you call it intercom? I don't know what you call it. It's like this little call thing where you could ask for help, and I explained my situation, I think good in Japanese, right? But, I don't know if he was mad or not, but he was very patient and respectful with me, because he just said, like, oh, it's all good, the gates, currently they're open at this time, so you can basically just go through, just make sure not to forget it next time. I'm like, oh, that might have been one of those cases where people call gaijin smash, where foreigners are just allowed to break shit, or, rules in that matter, and it's kind of like, they don't know the things, fuck it, bro. They're struggling already enough as is, which isn't something I'm wearing proud as a badge on my sleeve, like, yeah, I got away with that scot-free. But it's just like, I was just lucky that I wasn't getting an earful or whatever. I don't know, bro. I was just so happy that it was so, like, understanding. Another thing that I really liked about it is probably how open I could be with, like, my hobbies or interests there. Even at the school, even just in general, you can talk about anime. It's okay. Like, of course, people here where I live, they also watch anime and stuff, right? But it's not like you see people repping anime shirts or, that type of things. There's a certain level where people are, like, also into anime, but they don't really go beyond that, right? It's kind of, like, seen as weird or whatever. But in Japan, it's like, that's not really the case. Unless you're being really weird or obnoxious about it, I would say. But otherwise, I would think it's perfectly fine, which, made me really happy. I would be repping like a lot of pins and badges on my backpack. I started doing that around, a few weeks in. And what I loved about it is that it actually created conversations. Like, it was really fun. Even though I was really shit, it was still really fun. Like, I remember one time when I went to a cat cafe and one of the employees came up to me to speak to me because he was like, oh my gosh, I saw you were like backpack. I've never seen someone with like that many pins on them, right? And like that was really fun because then we kind of like expressed like our favorite characters. I was also like asked how long I'm planning, like how long I've been staying, like my plan of visit and stuff, right? I have like a lot of conversations like that are just like probably going to be stuck in my mind for like a long time. Because it's fun when you just kind of like are just walking around and maybe you're at a store, like a gift shop, like I was in my case, and then someone is like, oh yo, you like this show? Like they point at like what my backpack had, and it's like, yeah, I do, and it's like, yeah. I don't know. I frankly had a lot of positive interactions with the people there, and it was really, really fun. Lastly, and this is gonna sound really funny or dumb, it depends. I just really like going to the arcades. Taito Station, what a Pekington of a fucking place, bro. Now, of course, I don't advocate for claw games too much. I think they can be really dumb and scammy. I've won quite a bit sometimes with very little money, and then I've had cases where I lost quite a bit of money for a thing that I could have maybe just bought secondhand, or I didn't really have to put that much effort into it. I could have just asked for help. But it was really fun. One time I even found myself at the Sea Dog VA title station place, you know? Just being there, you know, what you see in the videos, just witnessing that for yourself is such a strange and cool feeling. Like, I had a lot of fun there. It was genuinely very cool. I think my favorite memories of those is when I asked or even got help after several attempts on something, you know? And then I would have the staff. I don't know. I feel like they can tell how much money I put into these things, because sometimes the staff would just make it so fucking easy. Like one time I had staff move a prize I was trying to win, but they angled and shifted it like to the point where it just slid off after like 5 seconds. So they put it back on, so it's like still easy. But after they left, like 10 seconds later, it fell down on its own anyway. And even the machines themselves, the actual game machines, not the claw games. Oh, Bruder. Tuning them is my bread and butter. Well, I mean, I miss Waka. I could talk about arcade games for a long time. They're so fun, I swear to God. It was so nice to go after school, you know, like the day is done. Maybe you were lucky enough to have no homework, or maybe it's like Friday, you know, so you ride the subway trains and you go to like, oh fuck, where was it? You go to like the title station near Shibuya, right? And then you go up and you start playing. Oh my gosh, bro. That was that was genuinely one of my highlights. It was just so fun. So yeah, I had a lot of good fun. I had a lot of great times. Of course, there were some issues. For example, when I was actually arriving, I couldn't get into my apartment, and it took like an hour. Was it an hour or two? It took a while until I was finally in my room, and then it was like 12 a.m. finally when I was finally in. I even got sick during like my second week of school because there was this like virus spreading across everywhere, and it made, you know, attending school a bit hard. There were also times when I was going to school when the trains were full, you know, like I had that experience, you know, where the trains were jam-packed full. But I don't know. Overall, I used to be like such a big hater of big cities, besides maybe Hamburg, you know? Hamburg? How do you fucking say that in English? Because usually, you know, you would go there and, you know, it would have some nice sides to it, but I always felt a bit uncomfortable because it felt, you know, dangerous, or I feel like there'd be like a scammer across like any corner, you know? But with Japan, you know, I mean, not to say it's a safe place either, like the safest place on earth, no harm ever happens, but I did feel very comfortable. It was very nice, and the fact that I was able to ride like the subways to wherever I wanted, wow, that was one of the greatest experiences ever. And I miss that a lot, especially now when I'm here back home, you know. At least the trains work, but I do wish there were more train systems, you know, across like the whole place here where I live. I just miss the convenience, bro. And you know, even my classmates and my teachers that I met at the school, they were all great. I didn't get close to them to the point where I would still talk with them. Like I have lost basically contact to all of them. But you know, I still had a fun time with them. We went to karaoke once to sing the Attack on Titan opening. There were like a lot of fun conversations in between our classes, you know. It was great. I had a lot of fun time, and I hope every one of them will do their best. Even the teachers. The teachers were great. The teachers were really good. But soon after, you know, that time was over and I came back home, it was August. That was then during the time of August, because I was in Japan for around the start of June to the end of July, you know. And something very scary, very, you can tell it's scary because I'm hitting the desk while I'm saying this, okay? Something very scary was coming up. I had to start working. Yeah, so the reality is you have to do something in life, okay? You have to be a productive member of society, for the most part. I think there's some special exceptions. But, you know, if you're sort of like a normal dude like me, you have to do it. And it was coming up for me. I don't know. I was both excited and very melancholic about it as well, because it's like I acknowledge it. It's better to do something in life than not have anything. Even if I had all the time in the world, you know, if I just leech off of my family and shit, it's just not a good feeling, you know. But the downside of that is definitely, you know, you just lose time. You lose time that you could be spending with friends. You lose time that could have gone into your own projects. Like in my case, I went to Japan and I went there to attend a language school, as I've already been learning the language for periodically around like a year or so, right? But ever since I started work, you could cram it in there, but it just takes precious time away from, you know, being with my friends, and I don't want to do it half-assed either, where it's like I do it once a week or something. That's just not gonna cut it, you know. But overall, you know, it's been like over a month and a half now. I'm cleaching. I'm closing in around like 2 months of like my time. Honestly, I find myself like very fortunate. I think I found myself a very good place. So I'm very, very happy with myself, you know, and very thankful as well, you know, obviously. Right now, the way I kind of like do my work is kind of unique and specific to Germany as well. Maybe not completely, because I think some other European countries also have it, but it's sort of like this study/work cycle where I have work for around 4 weeks and then it cycles back to 2 weeks of school, you know. So I go to like a school for like theory practice for 2 weeks, and afterwards we go back to the job, the workplace, and we do that for like 4 weeks where we learn like actual practical stuff, you know. You know, we kind of apply everything we know. You smell me? And that's gonna last for around 3 years, and I think those are gonna be an enjoyable 3 years of my life. I think so. It's been 2 months, and so far it's been great, and I think I can see myself finishing it, and that's something I'm very happy about, you know. And who knows, maybe with all the money I'm making that I am currently saving up for while I'm working there, you know, for those 3 years, I might make a comeback to Japan or not. I'll think about it, you know. I have plans, but we'll see how it goes. Because I would love to pursue, you know, that again, but even longer. But before I want to make any calls, I'd like to maybe take my future time when I'm working and I get my vacation days, you know. I'd like to go to different parts of Japan, because I just stuck around Tokyo. I said Japan a lot and I pretend like Tokyo is the only thing, but no. There's more places to go, right? And I want to explore those, you know. I want to go to Osaka, I want to go to Fukuoka, you know. Maybe even Kyoto, I don't know. Maybe based on my experiences, I'll choose one of them, and maybe I'll spend a long time again there, you know, studying the language. But we'll see. It's all coming with due time. That's my life wrapped up in a nutshell. Now the question is, what's going to happen with the future? Specifically, am I going to continue with this channel, or what's going on? Well, the truth is I didn't intend to sort of, you know, silently quit or take a break from the channel. It was more so like I struggled to decide on what I wanted to do, or like the next video that I wanted to put on the channel. Because the last video, I talked about like a lot about like, oh, I'm going to Japan and I hope it's gonna be great, and oh my god, guys, wish me luck and stuff, right? So then when I came back, I was like, well, fuck. I wanted to make videos only specifically where I'm like trying to, I'm trying to create it with a sense of purpose. I don't want to just be rambling and then there's nothing to gain from it, you know? I value people's time, and if I can maybe at least chime some things, you know, some things people can relate with, it's like an actual enjoyable experience, you know? Who the fuck cares what a random guy has to say for I don't know how many minutes? I think this is gonna be over 10 minutes, this video specifically, so. I was trying to create this like Frankenstein monster of like, okay, here's what happened, and also, hey guys, let's get on this topic that I think is really interesting. It was just so awkward. Don't get me wrong, I really like talking about things. I think that's why ethics class was always so fun to me, because you can discuss these like things that, you know, people have like different opinions about, or, you know, it's like personal struggles, all this shit. It's so cool to me, it's so interesting. And if it helps me understand people better and stuff, you know, like just giving it more thought and stuff, oh, it's a really great feeling. I think that's really fun. It's such a valuable thing to take with you, you know? So we'll see. I have ideas in mind. I don't know when I'll get onto these ideas. Ideally, I would do a video per week again, like I used to when I didn't have a job. Maybe I'll struggle with that, because it'll be like, oh, I don't want to record a video now when I'm back from home, but maybe I will still do it, you know? It's fun. We'll see. But you know, like I said before, the future is bright, bro, okay? So I might see you again very soon, and I'll be back with another video, and we'll be back to our regular schedule of I uploaded 3 videos actually. But it's our regular schedule, okay? That's our regular schedule, and no one can take that away from us. But I think that's pretty much it. I guess thank you for listening to my ramble. You know, I could have gone much more in depth about, well, like all I went through in Japan, but oh my gosh, trying to summarize 6 weeks into a digestible portion is very difficult. But it was a great experience of my life, and I had a lot of fun. And maybe in the future I'll come back with more stories. We'll see. But for now, I will see you again very, very soon. I'd like to thank you for watching. And yeah, see you later.